and couldn't squeeze it. Up ahead, behind the defense, it's James! LeBron added another poster to his all-time collection. He played against Jabari Smith Sr., and he just sunk Jabari Smith Jr.
LeBron James is 41 years old. He's dealing with sciatica and foot arthritis. He even missed the first 14 games of the season. And still, whenever he steps on the court, he's putting up more than 21 points, dishing out 7 assists, and logging around 33 minutes per game. At this point, it raises a fair question. Is this simply the result of one of the most disciplined recovery routines ever seen, or could there be something more behind it? What do you think? Do you believe his longevity comes down to elite discipline and smart investment in his body, or does what we know about human aging make you question it? Be honest. Let's start with the facts, because even without speculation, they're already pretty remarkable.
If I told you that there was over 70 players born after your debut?
What if you told me there was over 70 players
You have a specific
born?
reaction?
Yeah, exactly.
LeBron James has now become the first player in NBA history to reach 23 seasons, surpassing the previous record of 22 held by Vince Carter. For context, the benchmark for scoring at age 41 was set by Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, who averaged just 10 points per game in his age 41 season. LeBron, on the other hand, is putting up 21 points, 7 rebounds, and 7 assists per game, shooting 50% from the field while playing close to 33 minutes a night. 10 points versus 21, that's the difference between what used to define a 41-year-old NBA player and what LeBron is doing now. That kind of gap doesn't come from kale smoothies and positive thinking alone. It comes from something more. And whatever that something is, it's been a question surrounding LeBron for over a decade.
I want to know for the people, man, who are watching, what would this mean for LeBron James's legacy? If this is true, if he's on this, Balco, this new juice. I want to know, man. Like the way he slipped it in, and he said it.
Control-Alt-Delete, slip the what? Damn, relax.
Damn.
Control-Alt-Delete.
Damn. That was almost as bad as Darvin Ham when he said "whip it out." Huh?
Yeah,
that was crazy. My bad.
Crazy.
That was crazy.
Yeah.
But the way KG said it, and the way Paul Pierce reacted to it, it's kind of like, we knew about this. Like, he didn't say, whoa, what are you talking about? Like, there was no reaction to it.
Since the mid-2000s, estimates suggest that LeBron James spends roughly $1.5 million each year on maintaining his body. That's the public version, the polished narrative you see on Instagram and hear praised on podcasts. Discipline, dedication, and a cutting-edge routine built around cryotherapy, hyperbaric chambers, red light therapy, cold and hot immersion, meticulous sleep optimization, and near-obsessive nutrition tracking that I in the starting 5 on Netflix. LeBron addressed the speculation himself. He mentioned hearing the crazy rumors about how much he spends annually on his body, and said he just laughs at them. He didn't reveal the exact figure, but he made it clear that the real investment isn't just money, it's time, and that reaction, laughing it off, only adds to the intrigue. It suggests the true number might be far beyond what people assume, to the point where confirming it would spark even more questions than answers.
If the world understood what LeBron did, like other basketball players will hear what LeBron does and go, well, yeah, but that doesn't matter, right? It's like a baseball player and you're hitting a stick out of the way. It doesn't matter. It's like, no. If you knew what these performance enhancers did, then you would know why it does matter.
What do you think he's doing?
Only one, we have the same drug guy, if you will. I know exactly what he's doing. But there's only one golfer.
Please tell.
There's only one golfer. I'm not going to, but there's only one golfer that follows the big 3. And the big 3 is EPO, growth hormone, testosterone. That's the Lance Armstrong diet. There's one golfer, but it's Tiger Woods. Like, yes, it does matter. People will say it all the time, it doesn't matter. John Daly won it. It's like, it matters. Trust me that it matters. EPO matters. It's the reason LeBron takes it. It matters. And if other basketballers understood what it did, EPO increases your red blood cells, which gives you endurance so you can play all game long. You can shoot in the fourth
more
quarter
red blood
just
cells,
like you
more
shot in the
oxygen
fourth
in your
minute.
red blood cells. Okay, got you.
It's the king of performance enhancer.
Here's what's publicly known about LeBron James's routine. Cryotherapy for faster recovery and reduced inflammation, hyperbaric chamber sessions to enhance oxygen delivery and tissue repair, consistent use of red light therapy, tightly controlled sleep with scheduled daytime naps, and constant monitoring of nutrition and hydration. All of it is documented, verified, and fully within the rules, that it's also not exclusive. Any elite athlete with the financial means could, in theory, follow the same protocol. So the obvious question becomes, If all of this is accessible, why isn't anyone else producing the same results at 41? Stephen Curry, at 37, is still outstanding but clearly managing the natural effects of aging. Kevin Durant, now in his late 30s, has dealt with significant injuries in recent seasons. And Chris Paul, long known for his discipline and care, has largely transitioned out of elite-level impact. These are all players with immense resources, access to top-tier trainers, and the ability to replicate nearly every aspect of LeBron's regimen. Yet none of them are sustaining his level of performance at this stage of their careers.
Doncic is back in. Oh, LeBron! Oh! He reached back and then threw it down with the left hand. Yeah.
From a physiological standpoint, the science is fairly clear. Explosive strength, speed, and power typically peak between ages 25 and 30 before beginning a gradual decline. LeBron James has inevitably lost some quickness and vertical explosiveness over time. His average movement speeds on both offense and defense have reportedly dipped by around 5% over the past decade. But he's offset that decline with something far rarer, elite basketball intelligence. That argument, that his longevity is driven by IQ and adaptation, is the most credible explanation available. He's reshaped his game to reduce physical strain while staying highly effective. He positions himself more efficiently, anticipates plays earlier, and replaces high-risk explosiveness with calculated decision-making. At 41, he's not trying to replicate his 25-year-old self, he's operating as a more refined, economical version of it, and still producing at an elite level. But then there's the part that's harder to ignore, the dunks. After missing the first 14 games of the season, he returned averaging over 22 points, 5.7 rebounds, and 6.9 assists, and still finishing with authority at the rim. Not just layups or finesse plays, but full, forceful dunks. At 41. With sciatica. With foot arthritis. With more mileage than almost anyone in the history of the game. LeBron himself has acknowledged the reality of his age. When a reporter recently told him he didn't look 41 on the court, he cut in and said, "Look at my birth certificate." December 30th, 1984. He knows exactly how unusual this is. By the usual standards of athletic aging, what he's doing shouldn't be happening, and yet it is. There have also been long-standing questions that never fully disappeared. The biogenesis scandal, one of the biggest PED controversies in baseball history, implicated figures like Alex Rodriguez and numerous other athletes. Federal documents from that investigation referenced individuals connected to LeBron's inner circle, not LeBron himself, but people close enough that the association has continued to raise questions in some circles. It's important to note, however, that no evidence has ever directly implicated LeBron, and he has never been charged or formally accused in connection with any PED investigation. The speculation persists largely because of proximity and the extraordinary nature of his longevity, but it remains just that, speculation.
You guys know what a dry snitch is? Have you heard that term? A dry snitch is a lingo on the streets. And you know what a rat is. A rat is somebody that gets in a jam, but if they have information on somebody that's bigger, you can take the cheese, you can give that information up, you can get yourself out. Okay. But a dry snitch is where you're not in a jam, there's nothing on the table, and you just offer a guy up. You just offered him up. And I gotta tell you, so a couple of months ago, I did Andrew Schultz's show, and topic of LeBron James have come up. LeBron James
and then there's Chael Sonnen. Sonnen is a former professional MMA fighter and now a commentator, and he has openly acknowledged serving a suspension during his career for violations related to performance-enhancing substances.
Later, I'm on Andrew Schultz, and man, this guy, he's taking EPO. We got the same dealer.
He's also never been known for holding back. Chael Sonnen went on a podcast and claimed that he and LeBron James have the same guy, even referencing EPO, the endurance-enhancing substance long associated with cycling scandals. His argument wasn't framed as a wild accusation, but as something he viewed as obvious, that maintaining that combination of size, endurance, and performance at 41 would be nearly impossible without some kind of chemical assistance. That claim, however, remains just that, a claim. There's no verified evidence linking LeBron to banned substances, and he has never failed a drug test or faced suspension. It's important to separate speculation from fact, especially when the source is someone with a history of controversy and admitted violations. The NBA's testing program does enter the conversation, though. National Basketball Association is both a competitive league and a business, and LeBron has been one of its most commercially valuable figures for years. It's reasonable to analyze institutional incentives, but that still isn't proof of wrongdoing. On the court, the picture is more complex than the individual numbers suggest. While LeBron continues to produce around 21 points and 7 assists at age 41, the trio of LeBron, Anthony Davis, and Austin Reeves has struggled in shared minutes, posting negative scoring margins. That raises legitimate basketball questions about fit, impact, and how those numbers translate to team success. At the same time, first-hand accounts from former teammates reinforce one consistent truth. Jordan Clarkson, who played with LeBron in Cleveland, recently described the level of work he puts in: early mornings, late nights, constant film study, and relentless attention to recovery. Nobody close to him doubts the discipline. Off the court, the incentives to keep playing are massive. Between endorsements, media ventures, and the potential of a farewell tour, LeBron's continued presence in the league carries enormous financial and narrative value, far beyond his NBA salary. Every game, milestone, and season adds to a story worth hundreds of millions in attention and media impact. As for the bigger question, why he's still performing like this, there are several plausible explanations: elite discipline, world-class medical support, extraordinary genetics, and a highly evolved playing style. Speculation exists, but without concrete evidence, it remains speculation. And in the end, that's what makes this so fascinating. The birth certificate says 41. The production, the minutes, and yes, the dunks, tell a very different story.